New watch. I am too hot. Can't stop. Won't stop. Next stop. Top spot. Next stop. Yeah. Shit. Cause why not? New teeth. New watch. I am too hot. Can't stop. Won't stop. Next stop. Top spot. Next stop. Yeah. Shit. Cause why not?
Hey, yer. What it do is Papa YouTube is your boy C.Zagod, C.MVP, C.Gucci Toes, nigga. And right now, me and Lumi about to react to some animated horror stories. You done? So we can start reacting? You got anything to say? Look. You want to talk into the mic? Say something. Can't grab the mic. Alright. Let's leave that alone for a second. Play with that stuff. How about that? Play with that stuff. Now we can react. Alright, so we're going to react to these animated horror stories. You ready, Lumi? Alright, cool. If y'all can't hear me because of her, just let me know.
I was 19 years old when this happened.
Look.
I was a sophomore in college, and it was winter break. My parents were busy this Christmas, so my cousin Brody came over to stay with me in my dorm to keep me company. That night, after Brody arrived, we watched some scary videos on YouTube for a little bit. You know, doing random stuff. After a while...
Fun fact about these, I used to actually, when I was younger, not younger, but like, I'd say like maybe a year or so ago, when I used to get bored, I used to just sit and watch shit like this. I don't know why. I found it funny. It's kind of weird, but hey.
So, my computer died, and we got hungry. Brody and I decided to head down to the cafeteria. Unfortunately, there wasn't any food in the cafeteria, so we just decided to go to the nearby 7-Eleven off campus. As we were leaving the room, I noticed an old man sitting at one of the cafeteria tables in the shadowy back.
Focus, lock in.
He looked tall, creepy, and had bloodshot eyes. But what scared me most of all was how he kept vigorously licking his lips like he was hungry. What he was hungry for exactly, I didn't want to stick around to find out. A few minutes later, my cousin Brody and I pulled up outside of the 7-Eleven. Brody rushed inside the store to get a Slurpee, and I decided to look for something sweet. I walked into the candy aisle, and there was the creepy guy from the cafeteria. He had a crazed smile on his face, and his eyes...
At that point, you gotta press him. The
man said to me, "Hey there, what's your name?"
Don't tell him your name.
After a moment of just standing there in fear of the worst, I ran over to where Brody was trying to get the Slurpee machine to work, because it was broken.
Punching the Slurpee machine is not gonna work.
I told him about the creepy guy, but he just shrugged it off as a coincidence. Still, I was disturbed, and told Brody I'd go wait in the car for him. As I walked
You gonna go outside to the car by yourself, dog?
Shake the feeling that somebody was watching me. Even though I glanced over.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
See anybody. When I got to my car, I was surprised to find out that the doors were left unlocked. I got in quickly and checked the back seat because someone could have gotten in.
He could have gotten in that motherfucker.
I locked the doors and then got a text from Brody, who said he was going to take a while because he had to use the bathroom.
Brody, see, why would you go to the car by yourself?
Place even longer, but decided to take
lock in, Lumi, lock in.
However, after a few minutes, I woke up to a rustling sound behind me. I turned to see the creepy guy sitting in the back seat.
And you went out there by yourself.
His face grew even wider. I realized that he had
now you gotta jam his ass.
I forgot to lock the doors earlier. We both just sat
punch him. Swing. He can't hang with you, G.
What felt like an eternity, the man pulled out a large knife.
Never mind.
A deep, creepy laugh. With a scream, I busted out of the car and ran as the man chased after me. Right then, my cousin Brody came out of the store, and he was pretty muscular from being an athlete.
Wait, that's all you had to do. You flinch?
While waiting for the cops to arrive,
he hit you.
Inside, leaving the man's unconscious body there in the...
I said that from the start. All he had to do was rock his ass. One good time. He won't gonna swing the knife? Yeah, rock his ass, Lumi. Rock his ass. Yeah, rock his ass. Rock him, bro. He can't hang with you. Right, Lumi? Tell the truth. If you was in that situation, what you doing, Lumina? Swinging on him. I'm already knowing. You knock his ass out. I told you, right? Half five. Okay, don't give me a half five, then.
Parking lot.
Back to the
It
video.
started to rain. We went inside the 7-Eleven and told the store owner what had happened. All three of us decided to wait by the window, which had fogged up because of the rain outside.
He gonna get up and
The
dip.
owner quickly wiped it down, and what happened next scared the shit out of me.
He was gone.
Creepy guy
Y'all should have
was
locked.
gone. We rushed outside to find him, and the cops arrived exactly then. We told them what had happened, including how the creepy guy was nowhere to be seen. The police searched the 7-Eleven premises and the surrounding woods, and after some time, they found the creepy guy hiding in the trees. They arrested him, and we found out that he was actually a convicted pedophile and murderer on the run who had escaped from a different state penitentiary.
That's wild.
Although he was caught,
You almost ended up
I
a
wonder
victim.
what would have happened to me if my cousin Brody hadn't been there to save me.
You would have died because you was acting like he was acting like a hoe. You would have died because he was acting like a hoe. Yeah, he was acting like a hoe, right, Lumi? A little bit. Yeah, he would have rocked him from the start. All would have been good. He got in your car. You had to write. Kidnapping story. I don't like kidnapping stuff. I
This
get
happened
nightmares
when I
about
was
this.
19. It was May 20th, 1974, and I was a freshman in college. I was studying, and it was about 2:30 a.m.
1974.
I
Jesus
looked at my
Christ.
roommate. We'll call
Grandma.
her Haley. And I said, "Are you hungry?" She nodded. I told her I was going to McDonald's and if she wanted anything. She texted me what she wanted, and I left. I was walking to my car when I saw a man standing outside. He was about 2 years older than me, and he was tall, and he had dark black hair. When I walked outside,
Dark
his
black
eyes turned
hair
towards me.
zooms in on his
I
teeth.
didn't know him, but I still said hi. I was walking to my car, and he watched me. I was creeped out by this dude, so I just got in my car and I drove off. When I got to the fast food place, I went inside to order. As I ordered, I noticed
Going to
that
McDonald's
someone
is
was staring
crazy.
at me from outside.
But it's
I ignored it
1975.
because
4.
I thought it was some homeless
So,
guy. When I
Lumina.
paid for my food, I left.
God. You supposed to be locking in and you playing. I bought you on a channel, man. Show some respect. Show some respect. Yeah, it's 1974, so I can't even blame you for going to McDonald's. I was going all up until last year.
The guy wasn't there anymore, so I was relieved. I walked to my car and put the food inside when someone grabbed me from behind. They put their hand
Oh,
over my mouth so I couldn't scream. I was kicking, trying to break free, but they were too strong. They pulled me and pushed me into the trunk of their car. I was crying, begging for God to help me. I could only hear one voice in the car, and what I heard frightened me. "Okay, Ted, you've done this before. Rape and kill." I felt my stomach drop. I knew I was in a bad situation, but I had planned my escape in my head. When the trunk opened, the same guy I saw outside
Ted.
the school was right there. He grabbed my arms and he pulled me into the woods.
she
I was
getting
making
snatched by
small
Ted
talk, but I
Bundy?
didn't try and irritate him. I told him I didn't know who he was.
She said she was making small talk, Lumina. You can't talk at all, so you don't know what small talk is, but the rock can't. Oh, you can't rock him. Well, let's see what you do.
So I wouldn't tell anyone. He ignored me, but he said, "I'm sorry, I don't want to do this," and threw me on the ground. He fell on top of me. I fought him, trying to get him off of me. I grabbed his neck and I kicked him.
Kicked
in
him
the
right in
balls.
his
He flipped off of me and ran.
yummies.
I didn't stop running until I saw a telephone booth. I called the cops and they came immediately. The cops searched everywhere, but didn't find him. They didn't find him until 1978. I later learned that my kidnapper
Was Ted
the
Bundy.
notorious serial killer Ted Bundy.
Yep. He's heard of somebody escaped Ted Bundy. That's crazy. I knew who she was talking about as soon as she said Ted. We gonna watch another one. Let's watch this one, Lumi. A lot of this stuff happen at gas stations. That's why I be shook at night in gas stations, bro. You cannot go to gas stations at night without being prepared to scrap at all times.
Commandeering someone else's story here, but I think it's very relevant to the thread. And although my father wasn't a trucker,
I'm gonna just watch one of these.
Involved someone who was. Back in the 70s, my dad was an 18-year-old gas station attendant at a 24-hour gas station.
Like most of them are. Hey, lock in.
Late shift when one of the sketchiest customers he'd ever laid eyes on walks into the station. My dad said it was really obvious that the guy was concealing something in his pants, and his first thought, which brings on some major panic, is that the guy has a gun on him. Now, a whole lot of truck drivers used to use his station for two reasons. Number one, it had a pretty roomy parking lot, which they'd use to take naps and breaks in, and number two, it was the only place for miles around that you could get a bite to eat. Usually, there could have been up to 10 truckers parked up in the lot, but on this particular night, there was only one truck there. Luckily,
there was only one truck.
So happened to be in the store with my dad.
Look,
since Dad didn't know if he was armed or what kind of guy he was, he figured he was still pretty vulnerable.
You gotta know what to do in a situation like this, Lumina.
Starts walking up and down the rows in the
Somebody try you, I'm gonna end their life though.
He's not really looking at anything. Most customers either come in to pay for their gas or went straight to the hot food counter to pick out something to eat. Weird guy. Looks like he's just biding his time before
you gotta be prepared.
His gun and robs the store. At least that's what's going through my dad's head. The trucker comes up to the counter while this is happening.
You tired?
Down a bag of chips and just so happens to look over his shoulder at the sketchy guy.
Yo, yawning is really contagious because you just yawned and it made me yawn. You said yeah. You watching? My bad. You locked in. I'm interrupting your lock in.
This moment of pure understanding occurs. The trucker looks at the sketchy guy, then looks at my dad, then back and forth maybe once or twice more, then asks my dad what was supposed to sound like a totally random question. He says something like, "Quiet night, huh? I wouldn't feel safe working at a gas station alone. You keep the gun behind the counter there or something?" All my dad had was a bat, and even so, it belonged to the station's owner. But the trucker widens his eyes and mimes a nod at my dad, who suddenly realizes what he's supposed to say in reply. "Oh yeah," he says. "I got a 45 right here. Always just an arm's length away."
Smart man.
The trucker
You're supposed to actually have one though.
Bangs his fist on the counter before kind of shielding the action with his body. "Oh yeah?" he says. "Well, check this out. 357 Magnum. Bought it after I saw that movie, Dirty Harry. Not as big a bullet as your 45, but it sure does pack a punch."
Yeah, any gonna pack a little punch, my dude.
Blow his freaking head off. But as he says that, the sketchy guy just makes a beeline for the door, gets back into his
I would have
car, and
blinked
zooms
at him.
off down the highway. When the guy had left, the trucker turns back to my dad and says something along the lines of, "You know that guy was about to rob you, right? I was gonna take a nap out back, but I think I'm more in the mood for coffee after that. Oh, and do yourself a favor. Call the cops." My dad says he always figured guardian angels would be all cherubic, half-naked winged.
He did not really have those wings on the back of his shirt, bro.
He didn't figure they came in the form of some hairy trucker who smelled like he hadn't showered in 3 days. But as he puts it, every day is a school day. The guy spent the entire rest of his break hanging around the store, making conversation with my dad until the cops showed up and my dad could file a report. The trucker confirmed the story too, backing my dad up when he said it looked like the sketchy guy had a gun stuffed in the back of his pants. Then get this, right in the middle of talking to the cops, both of their radios start buzzing, and they run out of the gas station, get into the patrol car, and speed off down the highway with their lights and sirens on. The trucker responds, "I hope our friend and his gun didn't find the trouble they were looking for." Only, they had. My dad said he read in the newspaper the next day that the very same guy based on the description in the paper,
Mm-hmm.
had walked into another gas station about 10
And tried to
miles
light that
from the
motherfucker up.
But unlike my dad, the clerk in that station hadn't been so lucky.
Yeah.
The guy was
He got
the
locked up.
owner and operator of the station. He tried to resist the robbery and ended up paying with his life.
He
From what my
blicked
dad
the
could tell,
nigga.
The sketchy guy pulled his gun. The station owner went for his, and the sketchy guy just pulled the trigger. Boom. Killed him behind his own counter.
You don't need to be seeing this. My bad.
Now, my dad obviously didn't have a gun, but he said...
Yeah, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes, Lumi. Cover your eyes.
If it was him getting robbed by someone with such an itchy trigger finger, he might have made a wrong move or something, and bam. I literally wouldn't even be around today to write this.
That's crazy.
The sketchy guy ended up getting the death penalty too. That, or died in some shootout with the cops. Maybe even the same cops who attended my dad's call. I can't quite remember which, but Dad always
Bless you.
mentions him getting what he deserved whenever he tells the story. Now, I don't have to tell you how glad I am of that too, because even though it's so surreal to me, the idea of someone actually hurting my dad is just on a whole other kind of rage that I would feel.
You wouldn't be alive, Goofy.
Believe in guardian angels, even if they do.
He would have
appear
blicked your
in
dad and you
form.
would have never known.
It also makes me believe that
You was still in his
there's
nuts.
something like divine justice, too.
And that's the end of that, because we're not getting caught by the ad. No siree. No siree. Anyways, if y'all tuned in, thank y'all for watching, man. Thank y'all for fucking with us. You got anything to say, Lumi?
So, how does short point?
Didn't I just say we not getting caught by the ad, bro? Jersey Mike's. Got anything to say, bro? Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? Can I get a high five now? High five. Why are you oh, yes, sir. I'm about to say, stop leaving me hanging on camera like that, G. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. I got more videos on the way. And that's that. So, without further ado, peace.